Oops. House patrol. Um. Hmm. Okay. Um. Get. Who's using this right now? Okay, so let's go over like what the issue here is. My bitrate's a bit high on Twitch for some reason. I don't know why. All right, I was looking at this. Okay, so kind of our problem here is we've got this character here, and we can come into here, we'll hit play. We spawn in, right? And if I grab the character right here, we take a look at him. We have the enemy actor, right? So I want to have a attack enemy actor, especially, right? So we need a way of testing, hey, you've got an enemy actor, now attack it, right? So what if we do a decorator? Attack enemy. Wait, cancel. Oh, we have attack enemy. In attack range. Let's take a look at this. So target actor. So the target actor is the one that we care about, which is enemy. In attack range. Spool. In attack range is supposed to be a bool. There we go. In attack range, we'll say 100 units. No, 200 units? Here. And then it's apply, what would it be? Be the, target range. Let's bring one of these towers in because I don't have one in the world yet. There we go. Let's make sure this actually works. This RPG ability should just work. What? What? That's not right. Sarah 3D, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. How are you today? Okay, now it grabbed it. So when I fired it, it grabbed it. Okay, here we go. Let's do F9 here. How's your day going? My day's going okay. Welcome back, Running Bird. How's your day going, Sarah? I had a nice long day at work today, and then I got home. Well, got home. I got off and then just jumped on this. All right, so it's drawing this. The issue is the spawn projectile, which it does not have, apparently. Although it should, because it's projectile ability. To do. So is it just not spawning it? And then there's the end ability. It's straight up not spawning it for one reason or another, and I don't know why. It's so weird. Spawn projectile. So it's picking up where we're located, and uh, oh, you know what? I bet it's because of this. Because that was something that I changed kind of recently, and I haven't tested this since I changed that. You know what? It wasn't that. Cool. Okay, so that wasn't the problem. Hmm. Because spawn projectiles here, right? And this is the, yeah, and then if we come over here, we've got the projectile class, and there. This is a projectile ability. There's our RPG for the class, which is this one. You can look at it in here. It should be firing. We come over here and hit play. It does fire the RPG. We can see it, but it's not coming out of this guy for some reason. So I'm guessing it might be an issue with this. The target being wrong. Hmm. AG. There's the targets. Projectile damage class. Where's the offset? I thought I had an offset in this tower base. Yeah. It's definitely suppose interesting. You it's surprising how little you see C++ in Unreal and how much people just rely on blueprints for it. There it is, socket name. So there's the turret barrel, and this has a socket name. Ability system socket name. There it is. Barrel socket, that's what I wanted. Now, where is that socket? There it is. Right, it's here. Oh, did I make this wrong? No, it's apparent. Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong thing, aren't I? I am. Here we go. Now if I drop down here, come over here, I think it should start. There we go. It's shooting me now. Still doesn't give the distance that I want. So like it's not firing out correctly, which kind of sucks. But that has to do with this, because this is where we're firing to, and this I want to actually add to based off of the velocity of the character and stuff like that. Wait, this is the AI machine gun? Isn't quite what I wanted. This is the one that everybody cares about. Okay, so come back to here. So are you just doing, Sarah, are you just doing 3D stuff, or are you also making video games and doing programming and whatnot? Here we go. Try activate ability class. This is what we cared about. So what we want to do is we want to come over to here for attack enemy, and then we do try activate. All right. I'm making a small video game trying to learn blueprinting. Nice. Blueprinting is good times. I don't do a ton of blueprints. Ooh, do you have a link to what you've worked on? So remember, okay, let's see, try activate. See if this works. I think that's what we were using. Yeah, here we go. Get ability system component. Wait, what was it? It was owner controller. Ability system component. Trying to focus on blueprints. Haven't done much. Let's see here. I'm just a novice, but got lucky and got right into employment. I wish I understood programming. Well, it's like, let me catch up quickly. Let's see. I make a lot of hard surface modeling for work. I wish I understood understood programmer brain more. I'm just a novice, but got lucky and got right into employment. Congratulations. That's actually surprisingly very difficult to do. So most of my work is under NDA currently. That's kind of poopy, but I get it. Do you have any of your work that is public though, like from school or anything like that? Or you're welcome to share. You can share links to like your ArtStation and stuff if you want. Um, I haven't done much personal modeling, trying to focus on blueprinting. That's fair. Don't feel like you have to though. But if you did want to share anything, you're welcome to. Cannot read variable owner controller. What? It's this though, owner controller. Maybe it's controlled pawn. Maybe if we use controlled pawn. What the hell's going on here? Controlled pawn. What? Come on. Okay, let's just do this. We're just going to do this for now. And we're just going to delete that. Save, compile. Sweet, that works. This isn't what I want, but I'm going to try it. I guess I never really focused on portfolio, which is probably something I should do. Perhaps. You know, it's not that important. To be fair, I think it's only important once you're going for work, right? I did this wrong. I'm sure I have something. Before I even finished college, I got work experience with a company. They hired me right after I graduated. Damn, just winning the lottery right there. That's what that is. I do not work in the industry, by the way. Okay, so this guy here, and then if we come over to the blueprint, we have the sequence for attack. So I can actually change this because we don't need this one here, so we can just delete that. So you have more industry experience than I do. In this industry, at least. I do work in a industry as a software developer. Okay, are you going to attack me? The answer is no, or the answer is, oh wait, the answer is yes, but I think that I don't have any real logic in that ability here. Yeah, here we go. So this is kind of like what we've got. So what we want to do is we want to come here and we're going to do this. No, wait, not this. That. We're going to do an F9 right here and see what happens. Ah, we hit it. Let's see let me get caught up a little bit more here. Honestly, a guy on Twitch here gave me some advice and I took it to heart. He said, look up studios locally and go over there and say hi. I'm learning 3D. I would love experience. I'll start anywhere and would love a chance to help. I don't want money. That is a great way to get in. So they said yes and paid me for the hours I worked, and that's pretty much it. Every weekend, and when college was finished, I worked there. Nice. Congrats. I think this comes down to a I think this comes down to a socket thing again. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next one, right? Which is here. Then here, if we jump into this, if you can actually get that, if you can get work that way, that's a great way to get work. I don't think that's ever been an option for me, unfortunately. Although, to be fair, to be completely fair, I also think that it's an option that I don't that for me would never work anyways. Okay, so I think I know the issue, and the issue I believe is with the footmen themselves not having a thing shown up here. I think this is... No, that is actually the socket. Maybe it's just colliding too early. Yeah. I have a friend that's been trying to get me to get into this industry, and I keep turning him down. he works on pretty big projects, and he's got an in because he's like a very senior level person, and he keeps trying to get me to come into the industry, and I keep saying no. Actually, I shouldn't say he keeps trying to. I think he's largely given up on the idea of trying to get me into the industry. If I'm being honest. Okay, so what was it? It was this. Oh, this is not what we wanted. We need it from the weapon itself. This is a problem. Let me double check something. Okay, we don't have a spawn. The guy that gave me the advice started making mods for a game. Just the experience in working with people with one version was great, and a lot of varied work. Yeah. No, work experience is super important. Work experience trumps school. At least, so in my industry, at least, after your first year or two of actual work, your school is irrelevant. Doesn't matter anymore. Oh yeah, colleges will tell you all kinds of things. Work experience, best experience. There's nothing like working with an actual team that on a project that everybody is incentivized to get shit done, right? I find like okay, so like anything open source or like when you're doing in your free time, anything you're not getting paid for, you have a very different mentality towards, right? Passion projects and stuff like that. You can spend way too much time on it. When you're working on a when you're working in a team with deadlines and things can get out as just good enough, right? Things can be good enough. The amount of experience that you gain on the job with a team, like you now keep in mind, you need to have senior people and intermediate people and junior people. And if you mix all of that into a team, the amount of experience the juniors and intermediates and even the seniors are going to get something out of this, right? But the amount of experience, the amount of learning that's going to be done on that team, especially for the juniors, is just astronomically high. You're never going to be able to meet a year of real world experience or a year to 2 years of real world experience with school than on the job. Like it's insane. Just recently found out that this guy has now formed a small game studio and he's got several people contributing to help it grow. Everyone is there for experience. Yeah. My buddy wants me to come be a technical artist and I don't have that itch. Don't get me wrong, I love Houdini. But he wants me to come do Houdini stuff and um that's why I keep turning him down. I just can't. um, okay, so we're hitting the spawn projectile. The spawn projectile is going in and trying to grab something that we do not have. So what we need to do is we need to save everything. And we need to add some breakpoints into our C++ so we can actually see what's going on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that. We're going to stop this. Defined mod. Hello, welcome. Welcome, YouTubers. The YouTubes. I never realized it at the time, but he worked with some of the biggest names in the industry. He never talked about it himself. Yeah. Yeah. He's, no, those just shot him an email yesterday after getting clearance from my studio to contribute. Nice. Well, I hope you get it. I hope he's got room for you. Also officially welcome to the stuffs there. Defined mod. First YouTube comment of the day. I've got a bunch of breakpoints all over the place from last time I was debugging something. Resume program. Resume program. This is from when I was debugging the tracing stuff. And here we go. Well, that's a blueprint debug node. There we go. So hey, do you do 3D assets also? A little bit. I'm not very good at it. I can show you what I've done. Do this one. Yeah, I'm like exceptionally bad at 3D stuff. So this is the last sculpt I finished. It's not retopoed, it's not game ready. You might be able to put it in a movie, but it might still be a bit too high poly for that. So I did that. You can tell that that I care deeply because my best pieces are some meme stuff. but but yeah, this is most of my work. Let's see. There we go. I'll share this out to both. And then the last piece I did for the course that I was taking. So I got a diploma, a part-time diploma. So I went and I took some classes part-time, and I got myself a diploma in 3D modeling. And so this was all like work from it. Here we go. At the moment, I'm working through a list of assets on a large city environment. Nice. Right now, I am building the components for a game I am contracted for. So this isn't my game. This is I'm contracted to work on this game. It is. Oh, I've got it opened already. So this is the game that I'm working on right now. So the guy that runs this company contracted me. I'm contracted for RevShare right now for this game, and it is not single player; it's multiplayer only at the moment. I know because I built it. This is all multiplayer code as well. So this the entirety of this game runs in multiplayer. There's nothing that's built specifically for a single player yet. So and here's where the issue comes. Get socket location. We don't have a get socket location actually returning as far as I believe. So if I jump over this, what is our socket location? Our socket location is 000. So it's trying to spawn at 000, and that is not the right socket location. So if I jump into this, we don't have it implemented, and that's why I'm getting this. That means I have to go and implement it for the enemy base, and that means that it's not there. Get combat socket location. Look at that, it's not there, just like we expected. So this is an F vector. So virtual F vector. Get socket combat socket location, override, and we'll generate it. And this needs to get the location for the weapon here. And this will be a F name. This will be weapon socket location. And I'm just going to put this under AG. We are then going to resume. Okay, resume. Stop. Resume. Stop. There we go. Make sure everything's saved. And then we are going to recompile. Let's see here. So very open-ended question here, but any tips for working with blueprints and multiplayer functionality? Um, are you how hell-bent on staying with only blueprints are you? Actually, it also kind of depends. What type of game are you making? And do you need custom movement? Because if you need custom movement, you probably shouldn't be using just blueprints. So I'll give you a couple really quick pieces of advice that are kind of like generic and they apply to every game that you will make, right? So the first thing that you need to do is um, you need to turn on stat unit and stat FPS. These values are super important and you should be monitoring them at all times. I know I didn't have them on, but that's because I already know roughly where I'm at, right? So if I say I wanted to target, right? I want to target so my game always runs at 120 FPS, right? Now this is super important, right? FPS to MS. So we can come to these like calculators here. This is a fairly decent calculator here, right? And I can say, hey, I want 120 FPS in my game. That means the entirety of all of my code has to execute within 8.33 milliseconds, right? All of the game thread needs to execute in 8.33 milliseconds. And if it doesn't, then my program is never going to hit 120 FPS, right? If I can execute everything in 11.11 milliseconds, I can hit 90 and 16 will give me 60, right? So that's the first thing that you want to figure out is what is my target FPS? If you're making a VR game, your target FPS should probably be 120. And if you're making just a regular, like if you're making like a Mario game, you can probably get away with like 30, right? So you got to figure out what's the right FPS for your game. So right now I'm targeting 60, right? So it means that I have to make sure that anything that I put in the game does not drop me below 16.66 repeating milliseconds per render. Okay, so we can come over here. We can break this down. We've got our frame, which is the actual render, what you're seeing, right? So this is your GPU. Sorry, this is everything included. Sorry, is the frame, right? So this is your actual frame rate. The game thread here this is all of my C++ and Blueprint code, right? Everything that I've done it is executing at around 7 milliseconds. My draw calls are executing at about 4 milliseconds, right? So obviously you're going to be able to fix this and the GPU time and stuff like that. That's going to be probably a little bit more in your wheelhouse when you start out. But there are little things that you'll get used to that you'll have to do and stuff like that to bring down your game thread. But you got to watch this game thread when you're actually doing programming. This game thread needs to stay low. And if it's not staying low, it means that you're doing something wrong and you should go fix it right away. Right? Super important. So that's one thing. That's the best description I've ever heard. Ah, you're welcome. I'm happy that that was a good description for you. So yeah. So as long as your game executes in whatever, and then the really big secret, like especially if you're making a single player game, as long as the game executes in the time that you need it to in order to meet your FPS targets, then it doesn't matter how bad your code is. You can have the least performant code possible. As long as you're hitting whatever your FPS target is, it doesn't matter. You do not need to optimize the shit out of everything to the point where it's like the most brilliant code ever and it's super maintainable and executes lightning fast and is hyper performant and stuff like that. That stuff does not matter if you're hitting your FPS targets. If you are not hitting your FPS targets, that's a time to start looking at, hey, what optimizations can I do? Right. And if you're constantly monitoring your FPS targets, you'll have a decent enough idea of like roughly when things started changing for the worse. Right. So, like right now, if I'm at routinely hitting, say, 120 FPS and I add something and now all of a sudden I'm dropped down to 90, I know that I've done something bad. Right. And then I can go and I can start looking into my code because like my level doesn't have a lot of graphic stuff in it. So I'm probably never going to hit the GPU. But also looking at this, I can say, hey, my draws and my GPU time are not really where they'd be affecting my frame rate anyways, right? God no. If so, the only time that you need to compile the engine yourself is if you are okay. So there's two times when you need to compile the engine from source code. One, if you're making a dedicated server, right? So a dedicated server is any time where you've got something like, for example, Diablo 3, Diablo 4, and I think Diablo 2 use dedicated servers. Call of Duty uses a dedicated server, right? Everybody's connecting to a mutual server that is housed by the company putting out the game, right? So if you're connecting to a dedicated server, you need a headless client to run on a Linux server somewhere in the cloud. You can only get that build using the source client. So the source code client, right? Now, in the game that I'm making right now, because we're not doing a dedicated server, we're doing Steam connections. I don't need a source client, so we're not going to use it, right? And the other time that you would need it is if you need to edit the source code of the engine in order to get the thing that you want, right? So I have things where I've extended, but extensions can sometimes lead to performance degradation. So like if me extending a class means that there's potentially room for improved performance if I go in and just edit the class itself, right? So like let's say that I'll never use the pawn class, but I always want this like couple little functions to come through the pawn, right? Or the player, or I want to change the movement system and I always want to have access to it. I could go in and change the engine version of those, get the functionality I want, right? And just rebuild the source code for that. And I could potentially save a little bit of extra performance because I'm always passing around something that's already recognized as, right? With the game that you're working on, do players connect with clients to other clients? Yes. Yeah, so it's all Steam stuff, right? So you host the game you host the game locally. Steam allows people to connect through it, and that's already actually in play, right? So if do I still even have a build? I might have a build of this. Yeah, to do that, you do need a little bit of C++, but you don't need to build from source. You only need to build from source if you're modifying the engine itself for some performance reason. And that's the only reason that you should be doing it, is if you need it for performance reasons. Or you really need some functionality that is being hindered by something already in the engine and you need to change that thing, then you'd go in and do that. It's far out of the realm of possibilities that this is something that you would need to do. So I'd just take that one off the table. If you need a dedicated server, you can do that as a last step too. So you can build, test, deploy almost everything right up until the point where you actually need to build the dedicated server, and then you need the source code built version of the engine, right? Let's see. Yeah. So to get the Steam API working, so you can do matchmaking and stuff like that and joining and hosting games, you need a little bit of C++. You can get around it by buying plugins. And then you don't need any C++. The guy I'm working with actually really wanted to go down that road, and I kept pushing back on him because I'm just like, there's no point. I'm doing it in C++. It's already mostly implemented anyways. Let's just use it. And so I ended up just doing it in C++, and it was faster. And when I say faster, I don't mean like it executes faster. I mean like it was faster for me to implement it in C++ than it was for me to pick up a blueprint or somebody's plugin and work with their plugin to try and get functionality working. Right? So there's that. Yeah. And then for Steam, if you are testing for Steam hosting and connections, hosting and joining, you need to have 2 physical PCs and 2 different Steam accounts in order to test it. Just FYI. So so you have 2 physical machines that are capable of running the game, right? Although like it could be the lowest possible settings, right? It doesn't matter, right? As long as it's capable of booting the system, that's all that matters, right? So you've got 2 systems, you boot up, and you have to boot them both up. One creates the server and the other one joins the server, and then you can verify that it actually works. And that's the only part that you need to actually have this 2 Steam accounts for. And then if you're like testing things like, you know, does the name display correctly, like in the server list and stuff like that, you can do that through Steam. As you would also theoretically do that through Steam. So I still need to refine that a little bit. Right now it's just using the player name, but these are 1v1s, so you know, it doesn't matter that much. It's 1v1s and nobody can play it, so it doesn't matter. We have our own Steam ID, so yeah. Every Steam account gets a Steam ID, the app ID. And if you're testing a game, you can use, it was Space Wars. So you can use Space Wars to test your game. Lots of games under Space Wars. Everybody owns Space Wars. It's beautiful. Okay. See, where was I? BP Footman. Weapon socket. Weapon socket location. That's what we wanted. And then if we go to the Footman itself, we come over to here. We have this. I want to jump to this. And I need a socket manager. This does not have a socket. That's why. I have done some replication of player movement, etc., and have seen that some of the replication doesn't work with the dedicated server, but does with listening, with the listen server. Yeah, so there's differences there. And if you are doing dedicated, like, it gets complicated. I would heavily suggest that don't start with multiplayer, start with single player. So when you're working with a dedicated server, you have to be a little bit extra mindful that you're actually executing on the server. And I don't know if there's blueprints for checking where you're located, and it can cause problems. Let me double check that though. Don't hold me to that. I don't really do a lot in this. Is server. Okay, yeah. So you can do this, right? And then this will check whether or not you're the server. And if you're on the server, you can execute certain pieces of code. And if you're not, then you need to broadcast to the server using our RPC, remote procedure calls, right? So if I come into here and I grab say this, actually maybe this one's not right, but like, let's say I make a function, right? And then if I come over here, I think there's a way to make this networked. One sec. Thread safe, pure, deprecated. There is a way to make a function execute on the server. Give me a sec. Unreal Engine blueprint execute function on server. I know how to do it from my side, from C++. I've not done this really from run on server. Is that all it is? Or is it a custom event? Maybe? Ah, here we go. Replicates. So you've got a, so it's a custom event. It's not a function. Okay, that's what got me. Yeah. Okay, so custom events can be replicated, but functions can't, which is weird. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. So here we've got our custom event, right? And you can replicate it. Multicast is like, if this executes on the server, it will also execute on the client as well. This runs on server and runs on owning client, right? So like, let's say that I wanted to, so I have say, I've hit E to interact with something, or F to interact with something. I've hit the interact button to interact with something. And I want to let the server know that I would like to interact with this thing, right? We'd need to call this here, right? And then when I call this function here, right? Let's call this something. Runs on server thing. Runs thing on server. There. Come over here and I do runs thing on server. So now when this gets executed, this only executes on the server. Right? So this should only ever be this, when this gets called, it calls, it doesn't get called on the system. It gets called over the network onto the server. And any variables that you pass into it will get passed to the server from your client. Right? Now there's also the reliable and unreliable. This is unreliable right now. So this may or may not make it to the server. Right? And now that's not always a problem. If there's a bottleneck and a choke point where it's like, hey, can I get rid of this? Can I yeet this? I like, it doesn't really matter that much. Like, it matters a little bit. Like, hey, we want you to play something, like play a animation or something like that, and broadcast it to a bunch of people. That's not that important as like broadcasting a hit, right? So maybe that might end up being unreliable. But like, I want to interact with this thing and it's mission critical to the game. That would need to be reliable. Now, reliable is more expensive than unreliable, right? Yeah. And then from here you would just do your code, and then maybe at some point you need to execute back onto the client itself, and that's when you would have like another event where you would call that on the client, right? And that's kind of like the entire setup, and it gets really complicated and messy. But all in all, it's like a really, all in all, it's actually a really good system. What type of game are you wanting to make, by the way, Sarah? Unreal Engine function replication. Probably. I don't think I'm at the point where I can like effectively teach this stuff. I have some stuff on my YouTube channel. Um, where I've done a little bit of help. It's mostly on getting people into C++ from blueprints. There's a lot of assumed knowledge here, but like it's pretty straightforward stuff. So like here's your coin pickup implementation, and then like here's adding it to the HUD and stuff like that. Enums, yada yada yada. Trying to make a 3-player co-op. Oof. You do not need a dedicated server for that. Do not worry about it. Host from one person. So one person hosts, and then everybody joins the house, and then you just go from there. Much easier to do, less expensive. Don't do a dedicated server. It's not worth it. Unless you're making something like, so Palworld, for example, Palworld and a lot of survival games will use a dedicated server because there's so much being tracked in the world that it become, and you want a consistent world to be running all the time kind of thing, right? So that's when you would switch over and use a dedicated server. I want to have a world that is always on. Oh, thank you. I really got to figure out a way to get those tracked because the fireworks were supposed to work on YouTube, but they never really triggered properly. I think I have to update some stuff. Eventually I'll hit the hours and I can actually finally get monetized on YouTube. That would be dope. But yeah, I'm a long ways off on that one. I'm sure I have to put out a little bit more tutorial stuff. Eventually I will. Someday over the rainbow. Yeah, if you've got suggestions for YouTube content like tutorials that you want to see, I can take a look at making something. I'm just always drawing a blank on like what people want. A lot of the YouTube tutorials that I've come up with are like people have come in and asked me questions and I didn't have a good answer. Like I didn't have a way of answering it without like showing them a bunch of code. So I made a video about it. And there's like specific requirements that you need to meet for it, right? Like it has to be something that's can be short enough to actually make a tutorial out of. That's not like a 3-hour tutorial, right? Sounds good. The my Discord has a YouTube suggestion channel, which was supposed to be suggestions for videos to make, but people use it to suggest videos for people to watch. I'm really bad about being active in it, just FYI. I am not what you would call a good content creator. I try really hard, but never at the right things. Okay, where was I? Right, I was adding the socket. Okay, where was the enemy here? Get socket. This just returns um get the socket location based on the weapon socket name. Right, we needed a socket. Now, how did I add a socket again? I know there's a way to do this because I've done it before and it's just been so long since I've done it now I don't remember how to. Reimport base mesh, that's not what it is. Where is the socket? Socket. Google is my friend. Unreal Engine add socket to data crash. I did it. I did it with the other one, and now I don't remember how to do it. Go into socket manager. I thought so. Wait, this is 4. Let's go to 5.3. Right, I did it in 4 last time. I think it's, oh, wait. Oh, it's the plus button that I totally was definitely not paying attention to. What would we call this? We'll just call it weapon socket for now. Let's do 5. Is this 5 or? Yeah, there we go. Maybe 1. There we go. Yeah, we'll do that. Then if we go over to our character, where's our footman? Footman socket. Weapon. Ow. Save all. Reload, and then we'll have it. Next month. I think it's next month. 5.4 is supposed to come out, and I think we're going to be upgrading from 5.3 to 5.4. So that's going to be freaking amazing. All right. Where's our footman again? Here, footman, footman, footman. There we are. Socket. Weapon socket. There we go. Then we hit play. And I should start seeing damage come out from this guy. As soon as I'm close enough. Am I close enough? Is it executing? Oh, I don't have an enemy actor yet. Okay, that's weird. Interesting. Hmm. Poop. He's not seeing me anymore. Oh, right. I don't have the... No, I do. It's over here. Sorry, I was going to say that I don't think I've got the... No, that's not it. Footman. Is it AI? There it is. Yeah, the site key. This should be working. To do has line of sight AI perceived actor. Update target key. Enemy actor. Oh, I think I've got messages. Ah! Two people joined. Welcome to both of you. All right, so enemy actor is there. This is getting hit. I believe this is getting hit. This should be getting hit. Let's test whether or not it's actually getting hit. So we're going to put a breakpoint in it, and then we're going to hit run. Nice and far away. Oh, we got seen. Hey man, I must sadly head off now, but I'll catch you next stream. Awesome to meet you, and thank you for all the great info. Yeah, no worries. I'm happy I could help. And hopefully I'll see you around. Oh, this is why. I don't think it has a player team, does it? No, it should. It should be either red or whatever. Oh, you know what? It was because my player team was the same. If it is equal to... Oh, this is supposed to be not equal. Ah, this is why. This is why. There we go. It's a bit backwards, but you know, it's working. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna hit this, and then we're gonna come into here, and we should be being attacked now. Okay, so to make this a bit easier, I'm just gonna skip over this altogether. And this really should be false to here, not true. Okay, and now we've got to figure out why are we not getting getting shot? Like, why is this spawn not happening? So I'm going to put this back. And we're going to hit play. There we go. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Beautiful. And then we're on the server. Yeah. Okay. Did we get a socket location back? We did get a socket location back. Okay. Get. You know what? This might be the on overlap that's causing it. Did it spawn? Let's see. Spawn actor. We want projectile. Projectile is there. Okay. See here. Make outgoing spec handle. Get a. This all looks right. Armor penetration. I don't remember having this. I don't remember having armor penetration as an ability tag. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I just don't remember making it. Do I not have the owner actor anymore? Variable not available. So much fun. So good. Okay. Okay, so let's just pause this for now. And then we'll just do this. And we're going to come back into here. We are not seeing the information we need. Yep, that is definitely a problem. Do, 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 do. All right, so this is this, and then we want draw debug sphere. Draw debug circle. Let's jump to this, and we'll grab the other one. And this one doesn't have it. Right, it's only the RPG that has it. RPG. There we go. And then we're going, oh wait, and then we want to change the footman a little bit. This is going to be an ability. AI machine gun. What? Yeah. What the actual fuck? There's the machine gun, yeah. So it should be firing. It was firing the other one. 9. Yeah, it has the ability, but it's not firing it. Oh, you know what? That's why. Where's the blueprint? I need to make some changes here. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Interesting. What the fuck? Ugh. Oh, that's why. Ugh. Mm. Stop. Try. Where is it getting the great target data? Combat. F hit result. Where are we getting why is the hit result happen? Like, where are we getting the hit result here? Where's the hit result getting used? This is getting used down here. Why the fuck? Good ability spec. Mm. Mm. There we go. Time to set. Get. This is what it is. Get hit result. Oh, fuck. Let me guess. This doesn't have a get hit result, does it? No, it does. Okay. What am I doing? Oh, it's calling super get hit result. Okay. Wait, is get hit result? Oh, it's not. Okay. Uh, get actor from Blackboard. That's not at all what I. Come on. Come on. No, 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 no. Mm, none of these are right. Get Blackboard. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to here. This is probably going to require a login. It does not. Okay. New. Using Unreal Engine C++, I would like to get an AI characters Blackboard and get a value from it. Okay, so this would be AI controller. Get controller. Get controller as AI, right? AI controller. Okay, and then from here we're going to grab the Blackboard. Get the Blackboard component. Get the enemy actor from the Blackboard component as an object. Character base. Wait, this is character? This is not where this needs to be. This is not where that is supposed to be. This is supposed to be in here. Include. Food. Is this an F name? And then here we're going to say enemy actor is the default. If not, check if or oh, it doesn't have can be damaged. Ooh, interesting. Get value as okay, so object is correct. Damn. To do um can be damaged. Create hit result with enemy actor location. And let's see which one I'm using. Because this is returning back a to do. So if I go to here and I go to my tower base and I do get hit result, it is just location. But I also want to predict the location. Actually, I don't think that it really matters. This math is substantially more challenging to do than you would want it to be. Okay, so it's just hit location. That's fine. Because these fly so fast that I don't think that it's going to end up mattering. Let's actually go and take a look at what I've got here. What all do I have in here? Get target pawn. What's oh wait, yeah. Is valid. Okay, this should work. Do 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 do. All right, let's see if this works. What's my location? Wait. Did it actually work? I think it did. It did. It's not spawning, but it did. He is firing at me. What if I make this slower? Let's slow down the bullet. I think it's here. So right now it's 5,000, I think, or 50,000. It's 50,000. Let's make it 200 and the max speed of 200. Now we'll get to see if it's actually gonna fire. Oh, wait. I also need to change the behavior tree so I don't wait like 60 seconds or 5 seconds or whatever it is. Let's do a wait of 0.05. Okay, it wants to wait a minimum of 1. That's fine. They're not spawning. Like at all. We don't see them in the top corner there. Drawing debug spheres is very expensive, by the way. Huh. Why is this not working? This should work. The only thing I can think of is that we're still colliding with this, but the bullet isn't large enough that it should be. Oh, maybe it's slow enough that it's causing a problem? Let's say 500. No, let's say 1,000. They're not spawning. Why are you not spawning? Why you no spawn? Hmm. You refuse to spawn for some god-awful reason. Finish spawning. It's supposed to be spawning. The only thing that I can think of is to do a... If I come over to here and we do the sphere. Good. Oh, that's neat. The bullet is not spawning. Oh, wait. What if I do... Now every time it spawns a bullet, I should see a... Okay, no, we're seeing it. It's spawning. It's just... It's never overlapping with anything. Interesting. Weapon socket is correct. It's there. Ugh. Why does that have tick enabled? I do not know. It's being destroyed right away. Absolutely right away. Just okay, so at least we understand what's going on now. It might be a hit. You know what? It's probably a hit. That's probably what it is. Okay, the last thing that we want is fucking tick. Never tick. Ever tick. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't like tick. This is get display name. Right, we want to get rid of the debug sphere here. Oh, it's... Wait, what? What? we we have interestingness, say the least. spawning at 000. Where's the projectile? Hmm. Projectile ability. Okay, so the projectile target location is correct. How are we getting 0 out of this, though? Spawn transform. This all makes sense, right? And then the spawn location is fucking Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do begin play. Override begin play. Wait, this isn't the right one. That's RPG. BP machine gun here. We want the begin play. Begin play. Here we go. Get location. Get last known location. And then this we struct pen. No. Get location. Get world location. There we go. That's what we want. Get world location. Get world location. Get world location. Static mesh. Get world location. Get location. Draw debug sphere. It's firing straight down. Sorry, that's it's funny, but it's not. Oh man, I didn't even think about this. It's firing at the ground because god damn it. If okay, so I think I have to offset the the center is supposed to be the location as to which there we go. Yeah, it's hitting directly under the oh fuck. He's firing at the fucking ground. I'm gonna have to go do some research on this one. All right. Well, I'm going to do research on this. And in the meantime, we're going to go raid one of my buddies and call it a night for now. Anyways, thank you so much. And I'll talk to you all later. Ta-ta for now. All 2 viewers, 1 viewer.